Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan, and the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast is part of the Capitalize Your Best podcast network. We have 4 shows. This Is Gonna Hurt, which focuses on making a better you personally. We have the Tuesday Coach Training Partners, which is about helping coaches grow their businesses and creating revenue for themselves. Wednesday is the Capitalize Your Best podcast, which is about growing your business, marketing, businessing advice. Nothing on Thursday at the moment. And then on Fridays, we have the fun, You're Entitled to Your Opinion, which is reviews, genre, action, sci-fi, just a kind of a fun podcast. But friends, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here. We're getting close to 600 episodes now. I had the marathon a couple of weeks ago. You guys were very encouraging about that. I had my birthday last week. You guys were amazing. But today I want to talk about an upcoming event and the topic. On Tuesday, what is that? That will be November 18th at 2 p.m. We're going to have our Capitalize Your Best Life workshop. We have this the third Tuesday of every single month. And this month, the topic is being your best when things are the worst. Being your best when things are at the worst. This is going to be a 2-hour workshop where we talk about the need for us to rise to challenges when difficulties occur. We're going to talk about the fears that we live with about difficult circumstances, and we're going to talk about practical tools that will prepare us now for when those moments happen. Quite often, we live in a life of fear about worst case scenarios. In fact, I know several people who just rehearse those worst case scenarios over and over again. Now, of course, my encouragement, we've talked about it so many times here on the show, is to not rehearse worst case scenarios, but actually rehearse best case scenarios. However, the other piece of advice I offer is that we put ourselves purposely under stressful, difficult circumstances so we can rise to the challenge. Here's what I mean. So we take on rigorous exercise. I'm going to go run 20 miles in the cold because I'm going to be prepared for something difficult when it happens, right? I'm going to study difficult things. I'm going to take on difficult challenges. I'm going to purposely put myself under difficult, stressful circumstances so that when those circumstances do arise that we don't have any plan for, we're prepared. For example, if you look at an athlete does take free throws if he's a basketball player, and he's going to take 3-point shots, right? But they're also going to practice with crowd noise. They're also going to practice with people in their faces. They're going to practice with people defending them. And they're also going to practice in situations where the clock is winding down, and they're going to do that over and over and over again so that when that difficult situation arises, they are prepared. When we think about it relationally, and what we need to do is we need to have the difficult conversations that we need to have so that they don't rise out of massively stressful, difficult situations. So, for example, if you know you need to have a conversation with your spouse, then have it. Or what's going to happen is you're going to have a fight, and then that difficult situation is going to come up, that stressful topic. So if we put ourselves purposely in difficult circumstances, or we put ourselves in training circumstances, then what happens is when those moments arise, we're prepared. We don't have to fear difficult moments because we're built for difficult moments. If we continually avoid difficult moments, if we continue to avoid the training necessarily, we're just hoping that we're at our best when things are at their worst. Under the worst circumstances, we're hoping at that moment we're absolute best. I've talked about this in marathon training before. If you avoid running when it rains, then if in your race it rains, you're not prepared. If you avoid running when it's hot or cold, if your race is hot or cold, you're not prepared. I'll give you an example where this came and bit me in the butt. I typically run in the rain and in the cold. I try to put myself in difficult circumstances. But the recent marathon I trained for, I was training for a flat marathon. And typically I try to emulate the circumstances that are coming up. However, I know this. I know that in a flat marathon, if I train hills, when it's flat, I'm going to have an even greater advantage. But this last training cycle, I felt myself getting a little bit lazy and not challenging myself. So I avoided hills. I just trained flat. Now, I was going to be prepared for the course that I was planning on running, but I wasn't extra prepared. Well, guess what happened? The flat marathon that I was going to run, I didn't get to run. So I had to reschedule, and the one I ran was hilly. And there were parts of it that just kicked my butt because I was not prepared. So what I should have done is no matter what, I should have been training in the most difficult circumstances so that I'm prepared for them when they happen. And if they wind up being easier, then I'm ready. This applies to our physical health, our mental health, relationally, emotionally, and all those areas. So what we're going to do on Tuesday, it's going to be the 18th from 2 to 4. It's going to be in person here at Fredericksburg. And the registration link will be in the show notes. And it'll be at the Out of the Box conference room in the co-working space over there by the FredNet Stadium. So what we're going to do is we'll spend the first hour or so really just kind of walking through this topic. And the second half, we're going to be more and more applying. These are very personal, limited to like 8 people workshops. And we're going to go from 2 to 4. And then at 4, we usually have a social. And so, guys, that's my encouragement, is that either find these plans and put yourself in those situations now, or come and share your experience or work through it now with us. And you might say, Gordon, my life is stressful enough. I don't need to put myself in stressful circumstances, but we do need to train to handle them. Guys, our Capitalize Your Best Life workshops have been, I think, the best thing I've done all year, primarily because of the people who've come and who've committed to it. And the conversations have been rich. And I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be great, especially as we go into the holidays and all the stress that comes from that. So, friends, please join us. The registration link is in the show notes. It's from 2 to 4 on November 18th at the Out of the Box Co-working Space Conference Room. It's in Central Park, Fredericksburg. There is not a virtual option. I don't record these. There's not a virtual option because these are so intimate. So I'd love for you to be there. I hope this topic, whether you attend or not, has been an encouragement. Reach out to us if we can help you in any way. I've got encouraging words for you. We have programs that will get you there. But nothing else, friends. Thanks for listening, liking, subscribing, and sharing. Tune in tomorrow for the Coach Training Partners podcast, and can't wait to help you there. And friends, once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you again next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.